Hello, beautiful peasants, and welcome into the TAVERB. Today we're going to be sculpting this gorgeous gilded corset, very fairy, that's gorgeous. I'll be doing this in ZBrush today because I want to get something done. Also, I don't know how to do ornaments in Marvelous, so I kind of know how to do them in ZBrush, and I can use Shadow Box for that, which I never get to do on stream, so I'm excited. I got some hot chocolate. I hope you guys also have a warm drink or treat of some sort. It just makes the day better. But tell me how you guys have been. I appreciate the warm welcome in the chat. We've got Sean's, Paint, and Otaka already. Hello, hello, welcome in. Paint says, I can't wait to get roasted by M3DM for my latest project. Yeah, it's downloading right now and it's 2 fucking gigs. Are you serious? You warned me that the poly count was bad, and then I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. And then I see that the file is 2 gigabytes, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. Over 2.1. That's ridiculous. For context, my projects rarely exceed 40 megabits. Bytes. MB. Anyway, so we are orders of magnitude larger. Bad Paint. I will open that later into the stream. Paint, Mia, I was not joking. You were not, and I'm not happy about it. You know better. All right, that's pretty much gonna be the sentiment of that one. We'll sculpt this beautiful beaded, ornamented corset first. Sean's Jeebus Beast. Priced, I like it. I do have hot chocolate, but again, it's 1,000,000 degrees, so we're gonna let that sit for a second. And then perhaps when I take my first little break, I'll just sit here and sip hot chocolate and answer some questions. But that is not now. That is for later. Paint said, yeah, I do now, but not then. I told you. But I understand. Like, you gotta do the things until you know, right? I get it. Painful, but I get it. Sean's is sharing so much of their art in Discord right now, and I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, awesome. Sean's, you're so multi-talented. You don't even have to be single talented, but here you are coming out with many. I love that. Keep doing it. Alrighty, y'all. Let's hop right into it, shall we? Because I was going to sit here and hang out and chat with y'all, but I don't even have hot chocolate to drink, so we're going to move right along. Okay. I feel very fussy with... Alright, everything's in place. Yeah. Oh, I turned this down. There we go. Alright, let's get started. So we are sculpting this thing. We've got the gilded bodice. Gilded just means golden, I'm pretty sure, like draped in gold or like dipped in gold. I'm actually not sure. And then all this ornamentation. The sleeves, I'm like, I don't think you can do transparent materials in ZBrush. Maybe you can. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant to me because I 3D print them anyway, and it's very much so not transparent. But we can still get that same kind of texture. I definitely know how to do this. I can do that in Marvelous or in ZBrush. We got options. Okay. Sean says, thank you. Honestly, I think my real talent is learning things. If that is not the biggest fucking flex, I love that. That's a great flex. Learn things, be adaptable. I watched a video last night that was talking about like being smart is cool and all until you try to live a happy life. And like the best thing you can do is be adaptable and learn new things, literally. And I'm like, oh, you guys have heard it 100 times. Like, oh, what is it? What is it? Jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one. That's the last part of it. And it's very true. Be good at lots of things. Be smart, learn things, have a good attitude. I'm working on that. First thing we're gonna do is create the bodice, just get the shape, and then I'm gonna jump right towards the skirt because I'm really excited about that. I have Shift F held down here just so you can see the mannequin I'm working on, and then we're gonna do Mask Lasso to get this shape. Today especially, I'm gonna be changing the body shape as much as needed to get this garment looking the way I want it to. ZBrush is like, no, we're not. You are not going to be doing that. That's okay. ZBrush is like, slow your roll. And every now and then I need to slow my roll, so that's fine. Okay, yeah, it's gilded, gold covered. That's what I thought. And never mind seeing an exact definition. I love words. I like knowing where the word came from. Yeah, what's the root though? Like gilded. What is that from? Why gild? Why G-I-L-D? I'm gonna hop right back in here like nothing happened. And again, you can change the body shape, but you can't change like bony landmarks. Like you can't be like, you know what? No ribs. We're gonna keep ribs. That kind of stuff. Same with this, like her pelvis is right here. So I can't push this in any further. I can come underneath though. All right, back to what I was doing. Before ZBrush was like, no, you're not. All right, I'm gonna hold down Command and get this shape. I'm gonna clean it up by changing to Mask Pen. So if you're curious, I actually do know why ZBrush crashed right there. If you frantically click like a, I don't know, feverish chicken, you can crash your software. Don't be a spaz. All right, we're now going to extract this. Make sure whatever you want extracted should be the dark part, the masked part. If you want to invert that, hold Command and click. There you go. Invert, invert, invert. All right, extract, accept. Once I have this extracted, we're going to ZRemesh by same because it's already pretty low poly and I don't want to get too low poly. Kind of check this out. You can't smooth edges by default if they're single-sided. See, nothing happens when I hold down smooth. But if I come over here to my men connected points, which now I can. That's why I have it on my custom UI because I use it all the time. That looks pretty good, the shape of this. We'll refine it later. I'm really going to pay attention to like how far this plunges and stuff. Usually when I use references, they are just that. They're references. It's kind of like, oh, I take and pick what I want. But with this new video series I'm doing, I really want to like copy the freaking reference. I want to get better at like seeing something and then making that thing. All right, let's get this color. That's pretty close. We can change the material. We have sketch shade right now. I know we have metals. I mean, we have gold, literally. But I feel like if I had a sculpt on that the whole stream, it'd drive me crazy. It also feels really dark. So we'll jump to skin shaded. There we go. Sean's found the root of the word gilded. Found it. Old English, Gilded, of Germanic origin, related to gold. Gilded. Gilded. I like it. I will remember that. Is my hot chocolate drinkable, or is it going to sear my mouth? Let's find out. I just got marshmallow, nothing else. Small pain, but mostly good. Delicious. Okay. All right. So this is, how am I going to make this look the way I want it to? First thing I do is move around my light. Get over here. There we go. Sean's mentioned it reminds them of a t-shirt or a brand of t-shirt. I'm kind of curious. What do you guys dress like? What's your fashion sense? What do you like to dress like? Do you dress that way because you have to, because you're frugal or poor? That's kind of me. I'm extremely frugal and spending money on clothes. Yeah. I have really nice jeans. I'll spend a good $80 on a pair of jeans just so they last and don't disintegrate because I go horseback riding. I don't know how I would say I ride. It just feels weird to say that. I don't know. I ride horses. Anyway. And I need my jeans to not fall apart. So I'll spend a lot of money on that. When I was in high school, I was so cute. Oh my God. I pretty much was Hot Topic. But like on like the cutesier side, not quite like pastel goth, but just like, I'm too pale and round to look intimidating, so I was just like adorable gothic. Anyway, a lot of you guys have seen pictures. But I'm curious, now that you guys are adults, presumably with adult money, is that something that you spend money on? Or are you just like, I wear t-shirts and I don't care? I had a friend that exclusively wore like running t-shirts. If you go to like 5Ks or whatever, they give you a free t-shirt and that's all they wore. And because they were fit as fuck, They look great still. Life hack, just be really fit and then everything, you can make anything look hot. All right, I'm moving this piece around here to fine tune it a bit. We're gonna crush, again, we can bring this in the center, like the waist, but we can't crush the rib. That does exist. We can squish it a little bit. That's when it's gonna give that form and structure. I'm using the move brush, holding down Alt, and kind of tuck that in. And then again, I can turn on transparency and kind of see the relationship of how I'm deforming the body, which is this, even your, whatchamacallit, your feet. Even those deform quite a lot because shoes aren't, you know, shoe shaped or foot shaped. That's what I meant. Shoes are shoe shaped. They're not foot shaped. So they'll kind of pinch stuff a little bit. You just want to make sure that you're not deforming your base mesh a ton because then you might be making a garment that's not possible. I love like a good fitted pair of jeans that kind of put everything into place. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. And then kind of smooth out this curve here a little bit. There we go. Because what makes like a corset so beautiful, everything, like the waistline's what gets all the attention, but what's really making it look like that are those hips. Hips are everything. Ah, that's beautiful. And around the cups a little bit more here on the bodice. Remember when we were doing boob, think teardrop, not hemisphere, teardrop. Gives things a little bit more weight, just looks more appealing. There we go. I don't really know what goes on the side part here of a corset, so we're gonna just make it look like a nice skirt. All right, sweet, that's kind of blocked out. We're gonna move right along. And the skirt, that's what's gonna do next. We'll call this bodice. Yeah, tell me, let's see, did we get some answers about fashion? I wanna know what you guys wear. What are you wearing? No, sorry, okay. Kate says, I dress with what I have and poor, but 100% when I dress as a knight. Or Victorian dress, but in for guys. I love how you go for like, I'm poor and I wear t-shirts too, but if I had the option, I would be a knight, full armor. Not the answer I was expecting. Great answer. Otaka says, I dress black and sometimes white, and every piece I own is some kind of merch for something I love. Oh, that's nice. Pants and cargo pants because lots of pockets and comfy. I love that. Okay, I can absolutely see that. Awesome. On today's TAVERB stream, Mia unironically asked, what are you wearing? Christ. Sean says, also taking notes, because every time I draw a corset, I do it for bosom support, not for the hourglass figure. Exactly, and you want both. It is important, you know. Gotta support the girls. But to take that hourglass figure, you really just want to find like where the top of like their pelvis is, and then you're like, great, that's my widest point. Do not crush that, because then you're losing that beautiful, exaggerated, snatched waistline. And I know I'm doing it on a this is very easy peasy kind of body type to do this on. You can absolutely do this on a full-bodied, full-figured woman too. Sometimes it's a bit more fun actually. But it's the exact same principle. Okay, skirt is next. So for the skirt, I'm gonna grab my mask lasso, just like this. And we're gonna extract like a little belt, essentially. We're gonna Z remesh by half. And that's the end of symmetry. It is time to be brave and asymmetrical. I'm going to use my mask lasso facing the camera straight. Why? Because then it masks the back. Isn't that cool? So whenever you use a mask lasso brush, it cuts through the entire mesh. Just keep that in mind. All right, now that we have this, I'm gonna grab the transpose line. I'm gonna click and drag just like a little bit right there, but starting at the point where I want to start dragging the fabric. Ooh, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. There we go. And then, oh God, I'm so sorry for all my students that are like, this is why you're gonna hate the transpose line. But don't, it's cool. So you click and drag the line, right? And there's always these 3 dots. Okay, go to the farthest dot from where you, oh God, there's 4 dots. Go to the third yellow one. And don't, when you go to the center, there's a red one. Don't click on that one. Click on the outside, I think. Or is it the inside? Oh, Christ. And I wonder if people hate the transpose line. It is the red one. You go to the third circle inside the red and then click and drag. And if you're like, that was a nightmare, Mia, I know. Click Y for the gizmo. You're safe. And then you can just orient the gizmo how you want by holding Option. And then you can just stretch it like that. You can use the boxes or you can use the arrows. Either is fine. I promise the transpose line is really cool and fun. I just can't help but laugh when I'm using it because it just seems like a freaking nightmare, doesn't it? Okay, we'll go over that more. I will explain the transpose line every time I use it because I realized that was a mess. All right, so she doesn't have legs, but I imagine her knees would be about here. So this will go just past knee length. I'm gonna scooch that up a little bit. We're gonna subdivide once because it's really getting a little too low poly. And now I'm gonna use the move brush and we're gonna start fitting this. I'm gonna turn symmetry on and off. If I'm working on a part that's symmetrical, like the top, I'll go ahead and, there we go, turn it on. But for the most part, it's an asymmetrical skirt. We're gonna sculpt without symmetry. All right, this piece is not actually visible. That's gonna be tucked all the way up here. We do still want to cover the booty, so it's gonna be a balance. We're gonna cut the bottom of the skirt off to get a nicer, flatter edge because it's a little easier for me to work with. And then we're really gonna pay attention to the way this drapes. Right now I'm showing the entire leg. We're getting very, very close to crotch region. Scoot that over. You're gonna wanna use some good masking here too. I like to mask at like the apex of the curve, the top slit. Yes, the top of the slit. And then drag over. And I'm really paying attention just where this lays. It looks like it kind of comes to the halfway point of the thigh. I'm always just looking at landmarks on the body, measuring them pretty much, and then using that to construct hopefully a similar shape. Something else important here is on this side, it hugs that hip into her thigh, and it's just beautiful. So mine's kind of flipping out, and that's not really the curve we're going for here. We want to continue like that, right? So what I'm gonna do is cut that off. I just polygrouped it, hid those points, and deleted. And that's tricky though, because the longest part of the skirt is still on the outside of that thigh. Let's go to the back really quick, give this some love. I turned on symmetry briefly to kind of help me out. Really keeping that rounded curve here. You guys have probably heard this before, but when you're dealing with fashion and clothes, you really want something that complements your body. If whatever garment you're wearing looks bad on you, it's not a statement on your body, it's a statement of the garment just not being well tailored, or maybe it's just not flattering for your body type. I always love that. I think I originally saw this trend on like Instagram. It's like, is it a fit or is she just skinny? And I'm like, huh, that's why models are skinny and super tall, you know, because it's a lot easier to fit, you know what I mean? You can make stuff up. You don't have to have any like support. You don't, it's just easier. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay more attention to all different kinds of types, because otherwise everything looks really samey, and how boring is that? We're really starting to get a nice shape here. Zeri mesh and same, because you don't want those ugly jagged edges. Like this triangle, it's not the end of the world, but if I can fix it, there we go, see? Before, after. Again, not the end of the world, but it does help. All right, off to a good start. Oh, Aloha's here. Hello, hello. Aloha says, my friend finally received the package of her 3D model D&D character that I did for her and then 3D printed. She's taking it to her D&D session this weekend, Mia. Big success. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy for you. It's one thing to share your art with others. It's another thing to have that art be like loved and they're sharing your art with others even. And again, because I help teach you or as part of your journey, that's fun. That's really fun for me to know. Thanks for sharing that. Otaka asking what a champion tunic is. That's gotta be Zelda. Yeah, Link's outfit. Yep. Duke said blue jeans and band tees or brewery tees, boots or shoes. For work, 511 pants. And button-up flannel with boots. Comfort is king. I dig that. Otaka said, whenever I think about more fancy clothing, I really wished I was a woman. These clothes just look so much prettier in my opinion and just not a fit for me. I get what you mean. I feel like y'all really invented the tux like, I was gonna say a millennia ago, but that's 1,000 years. You get my point. And they were like, you know what? We did it, boys. You got a suit, you're done. Now it's a little more limiting, but there's definitely options still. You can also just wear whatever you want. But I also know it's easier said than done. Like this would be a little outrageous as a man to wear. That's, again, can you? Of course you can. But I'm not going to pretend like it wouldn't be surprising or head turning. I was going to say eye turning, and I was like, what? That's not quite right. We do need more male pretty clothes. We do. Maybe next week I'll pick some stuff. Because there are things. There are male corsets. You were correct. Although I can't help but notice you're the only person that hasn't answered what they're wearing right now, or just in general, and that just confirms that you are a little gremlin. Because, like, Stitch doesn't wear clothes. I assume you wear clothes, though. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're gonna call that fitted enough. Can I polish my features? Yes, polish my features is such a help. I'm being very picky with like any clipping on the body, but I need to not be, it's fine. Okay, that has been blocked out. Now let's go for the sleeves. We have this really cool ornament thing, and then these like really drapey sleeves, which I really don't know how I'm gonna do. But I know I'm gonna do them in, what's the word? Not with symmetry. So again, masking brush down to just pretty much the whole forearm here. Extract, accept, and ZBrush by half. But I'll probably do ZBrush by same. If you're wondering like what's ZBrush by half, what's ZBrush by same, it tries to take your mesh and just put quads on it. So just 4-sided polygons, bunch of rectangles. And then if it's same, it's gonna try to keep the same amount of points. And if we put half, it's going to try to half it. Simple as that. Some things in ZBrush are actually not too complicated. Sean says, I'm a fan of sleeveless vest myself. That checks out. Otaka says, specific example, whenever I visit some medieval convention, the outfits for males are either super complex and expensive or plain cloth tunic, not pretty. There's rarely an in-between. Women and girls can put on a pretty dress and it looks gorgeous. That's true. That's true. So you want to be pretty. I will think about this. If I come up with an answer, I will share it with you. Oh, did you guys watch? Okay, it's kind of long, but I'm going to share it because Ricky shared it. I'm putting the link in the chat. It's on Instagram. I don't know if that's clickable. You guys have to watch this. Please, please, please. It's so freaking funny. It is this guy singing a song about D&D. It's kind of long. Just please watch it. It's so freaking good. And I'll see you in like 2 minutes. I watched it like 3 times. I feel very hypocritical here because I hate watching things. Like, I am definitely that kind of person where my friends send me like reels or whatever. It feels like friend homework and I hate it. And it's only like 10 seconds to up to 2 minutes and I hate it. But here I am being like, please watch this video. It's so funny. I think you'll like it. I do. The guy just went so hard on that song and did not need to. It's hysterical. Okay. Moving right along. Paint said maybe not appropriate, but I love a good man slutty outfit. Yeah, I get you. Man slut. Nothing wrong with that. Sean says, I'll save it for later if that's okay. I guess. I am multitasking like heckerdoodles. That is such an incredibly lame word. Oh, I love it. Heckerdoodles. What in the Ned Flanders? Very good. Hey Reaper. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm trying to get them to watch that stupid video I shared yesterday. Well, Ricky found it and then I was like, you must share that in the Discord. All right, the end of this got all crinkly and ugly, and there's a hole in it. It's really doing too much. So we're gonna subdivide once and then ZBrush by same. It just needs to be a little bit denser because it's having problems. We're also gonna just cut it open because it's really having problems. All right, delete hidden, polish by features to get that nice and straight, and then ZBrush by same. Words, words, words. Excellent. All right, now that we have that, let's go ahead and check balance. So it does fall pretty much to the same length as the skirt. And then what's really confusing is that the whole piece of fabric is like twisted on itself, and I have no idea how to do that. That might need to be an adventure in Marvelous. No, I can do it. I'm gonna grab Move Topological. I'm just gonna look at the silhouette. So, oh wow, why did you move all the way to a different monitor? Come hither. So the way I'm gonna break this down is, oh, I love that it's yellow. Usually yellow works. Let's pick a color that's gonna show up. How about purple? All right, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna look at the overall shape here, which is just a triangle like that. And that's why I have drawn this, or I guess sculpted it the way that I have. See, that's what I'm saying. I break it down. And now that I kind of have that shape, now I can start to refine it a bit. So what's the next interesting shape here that I can start to play with? Which is going to be this curve, and this curve, kind of like that. So that's the next step here. Let's do it. Oh, it went away. Sad. Come back. I wonder if I make two instances of this window, I can have one that I draw and one that just stays here. We'll see. I'll do that later. All right, again, we want that straight shape first. And now we can start playing with the curve of it. There we go. There's one curve. There's another one right here. And another one right here. And then this pretty much sticks to the arm like glue because gravity. Also, it's a very thin fabric. There we go. Looking prettier. Oh, there's Sean. Excuse you, lame. You said heckerdoodles. Come on, like. I gotta draw the line somewhere. Oh my goodness. Okay, what is next? How do I do this? Straight. I'm thinking. I'm going to mirror and weld. I'm going to name this sleeve, and then I'm going to duplicate it so I can, if I fuck it up, I don't feel bad. We're gonna, so I just did Command Shift D, Now I'm gonna name this Sleeve Chaos. And this is just gonna be me trying to do these absolutely insane fabric folds without simulating, because I have a software for that. So now I want to practice hand sculpting too. I want to be good at everything. That's all, not a big deal. All right, we're gonna turn on dynamic, perhaps. I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a way that I can also 3D print, but I might need to throw 3D printing out the window. Yeah, 3D printing out the window. I will deal with that later with close holes. I'm gonna subdivide this so I actually have some resolution to get something done. And then I'm gonna use a really cool technique here that's gonna get me some part of the way, which is gonna be using the transpose line. Don't be afraid. So we're gonna mask like a big triangle shape, like this. Also increase resolution. I'm looking at this fold right here. Now that I have that fold, I see that my fold is wrong. There we go. Do it again. And now I'm gonna invert the fold, bring up the gizmo with W. Again, you guys can see my bad habit. I click Q every single time I open the gizmo. You do not have to do that. The gizmo is W. Y will go back and forth between the gizmo and the transpose line. We want the transpose line, trust me. We're going to click and drag. We're also going to get rid of the mask on the back side because we don't need that. There we go. We just want this. All right, I'm laughing because I feel myself clicking Q every time. Now that we have the transpose line, click and drag from the top to the bottom of this beautiful fold that's going to appear and totally work the first time. And then click the letter R for rotate. Go to the second yellow circle, then the inner circle of that circle, and click and drag straight down. And look at that beautiful pipe fold we're starting to create here. Why does that work? It's because we're literally taking this piece and we're rotating on itself. That's why it's working. It's very beautiful. Neat. Now do that 100 more times. Oh, goodness. Ooh, hot chocolate is delicious. And then you can smooth it and do whatever to, you know, make it more accurate to what you're wanting. But there you go, it's a really cool technique. So now I'm gonna do it again next to it. Again, the only annoying part is you have to go to the back here and then remove that fabric fold. You could just polygroup the front and back of this sleeve and hide half of it. That would be smart. Looks like I missed it. Yes, I did. There we go. I'm trying to retrain my hand now where I click W to bring up the gizmo instead of QW. How beautiful is that? Actually looking pretty similar to the reference, kind of. I'll take it. Oh, and I will have, who was giving me a hard time yesterday about cider? I think it was Toda and Reaper. I bought some cider yesterday, so I have apple cider, but it's not hot, it's a refrigerated kind. I guess I could heat it up, but anyway, I got a little bit more fall. I'm still drinking hot chocolate today though. Okay, I don't know how to do this draping piece here and make it look like everything fits together. I mean, I can just fake it. That's my favorite thing to do. I can just mask a section up here, invert that mask, smooth this down, and then just like really heavy with my standard brush, build those folds on top. I feel like that will work. And again, I'm just using the standard brush for this. The only special thing that I did was enable lazy mouse. You don't have to do that. It just, see how there's like a long red line? It just makes it so all my input is like really like laggy. That's pretty much all it does. It's like stabilization if you use like Procreate or literally any other 2D drawing software. Aloha says you can also put on backface mask whilst the masking tool is active. Are you saying that if I do this, so if I hold down Command and then backface mask, and if I mask this, are you telling me if I flip this around, it's not going to have cut all the way through? See, it did. Lies. The lasso brush will not be contained. But you are correct that if I were to do that with the pen brush, an enabled back face mask, it will not go through. I still want to try it again with the mask lasso, because that'd be so cool if it, no, it will not be contained. Good try. It laughs at you. All right, I need to put a really big fabric fold right here so I can start to get this like overlap effect, because that's what's happening. So we have, okay, again, I need 2 instances of this. One that I can draw on and one that I can just leave up there. All right, I have another instance. Neato. I know, I need to buy this. I use it so much. I will give you money later, go away. Okay, to be clear, it's not pirated. It's a free software, but they ask for donations. Okay. So like this right here is a layer that is on top of this section here. And it's very important that the purple section is in front. Right now I've sculpted them to be like on the same plane, and that's just not gonna do it. It's just not gonna cut it. So I can get that illusion by really pulling that fabric forward. I can then come through later with damp standard, kind of cut that through, and then I need to smooth this fabric fold because it looks dumb because I have that cut on top of itself. I should have done this in a different order. We're gonna do it in a different order because it'll be easier to fix. So what we're gonna do is we're going to lower the resolution, and then we're gonna smooth this down on multiple subdivision levels. Why? Because if you smooth it down on the high subdivision level, we're gonna be here all day. There we go. I have gotten rid of it. Now I'm going to mask this section here. I'm gonna grab my move brush and I'm gonna literally pull this section of fabric on top. And while I'm at it, I might even polygroup this. No, I will not. I lie. And now I can kind of scoot these volumes. If I really want to be good at this, there's technically 2. There's this layer right here and another one right here. Do you guys see that? Of course you don't, because you're not always looking, and I need to not just say here, not here. Let me draw a picture. Always draw a picture. There we go. So really there are 3 different sections. There you go. The pink must be in front of the purple, which must be in front of the blue. 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm doing right now. We just created a big purple section right here. That's what this is. Man, y'all are getting learned today. I'm doing a teach. Reaper says, the reference sleeve puzzles me. Probably because it's AI, but it is possible. I think it's AI. Sorry if it's not. It's because it's twisted, which is very cool. Twisted and penned. Meh. Aloha says, oh, it doesn't do that on my version. I swear, I always use it. With mask lasso? I don't believe you. I must see a video. I'm going to simplify this design a little bit so I don't have to spend all day on this. So I'm just going to keep the main section here and the second one. It's a very careful balance between putting this mic to where I can hear myself, but not hear myself breathe, which drives me crazy. There we go. It's looking pretty though. All right, and now we're gonna isolate this, and I'm gonna start creating these fabric folds that are really nice and sharp that go from the top and kind of crest over. These always get kind of like lumpy. You kind of just have to let it happen and then clean it up later. The big thing is gravity. So like this line right here is okay, but you really want them to come straight down. I should do this instead. There we go. Bonus points if you can accentuate like parts of the body, like the bottom of the bicep, or like where it crosses around like the elbow, that kind of stuff. Which is here. If I want another one, I want some more right here. Do notice that we have been working from big shapes to little shapes. Like I'm even using smaller fabric folds right now. And I'm not worried about the fact that it's clipping through this mesh right now. It doesn't matter. None of that's an issue. Oh, that doesn't look good. I can just smooth it away. You'll notice, if you look at my little hotkey thing below me, I'm hitting Shift D and D, and that means I'm going up and down subdivision levels. What does that mean? That just means resolution. Higher subdiv, more polys, more resolution. Why wouldn't you always work with high resolution? Because it makes your program really slow, and it makes your brushes really slow. If you're trying to smooth something with millions of points, it's gonna take forever. And that doesn't have to do with like, oh, get a stronger computer. Like, no, like that's just not how that works. I know Sean's is working on stuff right now. I'm curious if anyone else is doing some art while they watch. Or even just resting. Maybe having a little art siesta, a little art break. I'm gonna do a much lower effort fabric folds on the back of the sleeve because don't worry about that. Again, I'm going to turn on transparency and really get this as close to the body as possible because these little subtle indents are so important, like annoyingly important. I'm going to go to the top view of the arm here because it's not draping very well. I'm going to use the pinch brush. Why is it not draping well? It's just how I constructed the base shape. I should have spent more time in the base shape. But I didn't, and that's fine. Payne says, I can't do art at work. Sad face. I guess not. All right, we have 2 sleeves here. And now we are going to add this ornamentation. There are different ways I can do this. I'm not really sure about any of them. I think I would make it flat and then bend it onto things. I don't know. I know that shadow box is a thing here. Let me save what I have right now. We'll save it as a Z tool, and then that'll be shared with my students after the stream. All right, what do I call this today? Gilded Fairy. Very good. And it is October 8th. Very nice. Okay, where is this shadow box? I don't use it very often, so I look at these new features, I'm like, I'm gonna take a hot chocolate break. Yeah, Aloha, not a worry, that's what I thought. You're totally good. All right, where the fuck is shadow box? I don't remember. What menu is it under? Oh, very helpful. It's under shadow box. I swear to fucking God. It's telling me everything about shadow box except where it is. That is hysterical. A lot of software, when you go to the help button, there's actually a search bar right here, which is really cool. Entering shadow box. There it is. Tool, geometry. Haha, I found it. I know how to use it, just don't know where it is. All right, tool, geometry. ¿Dónde está? There it is. I should put this on my custom UI so I don't forget. All right, here's how to customize your UI in ZBrush. Preferences, config, enable customize. Hold down Command and Option, and then you click and drag. I'm going to be moving it where you can't see it anyway, but I did the thing. And that's it. Yeah. After you're done moving stuff around, click on Enable Customize again and Store Config. Congratulations, you customize your UI. I've now clicked on Shadow Box and you can see the meshes that I have and then what's selected, I believe it's just what's selected, will project out. Pretty cool. I don't think I want to do that here. Oh yeah, look, it made this a blob. That's cool. We're gonna grab a different tool and then do the shadow box thing there. All right, I'm in a different tool, shadow box. There we go. Here it is. We're gonna draw an ornament. I'm gonna turn off perspective, question mark? No, that's really freaky. All right, I have mask pen and I know I want it to be a pretty thick piece, so I'll just draw a box right there of how chunky I want it to be. And then from this face, I can draw filigree and I think it will work. We're gonna find out. Nothing happened. What the heck? Why is my masking brush not working at all? Ooh, maybe because face mask is turned on. Yes, funny. All right, I'm gonna turn off my tablet too. So that means there's no, okay, turn off the settings for my tablet, which means that it will not be sensitive to pressure sensitivity. Because right now I want it to be, when I just draw, I want it to be like a hard line. I think nothing's happening because these shapes are not possible together. So what I should do is just say thickness on one dimension and then draw a piece here and a piece here. It's supposed to, what the heck? Why isn't it showing a volume? Oh, because I have solo turned on. You can't have solo turned on. Even though it's one subtool, it doesn't consider it like that. This is why I love doing stuff on stream, because I can tell you guys 1,000 different ways to do something wrong, and then you don't have to do that wrong thing. So I don't have to worry about extruding thickness until at the very, very end. We can just focus on drawing the actual filigree pattern. So I'm gonna look at my reference here and imagine what this would look like if it was fanned out. I can really see this side right here, and that looks kind of like this shape. Kind of like a banana. And then it kind of comes down into this crest. Okay, actually solo would be nice to have on. This is really annoying to do at the same time. All right, we're gonna go even more primitive than this. It looks like it's kind of like a triangle. Something kind of like this. I probably made this a little too big. Here we go. And then it has like a side on this side, this side. Am I just drawing the freaking Triforce? No. That is cool. That would work. Watch out. Not what we're doing. I blame Sean's. Okay. Here's a side, kind of like a nice little filigree thing. I can adjust the resolution later. And then what happens with the top? It's kind of like its own little funny thing. And then from here, I wonder if I can turn on symmetry. Oh my goodness, I can. Game changer. Let's do it again. There we go. There we go. This is looking cool. Hello, said Mia. I placed a cool side-by-side in Discord when you have time to take a peek. Of course. Anything for my mod peasant. Mia requested to see my print a while ago, but better late than never. Final render versus 3D print. I don't care if it's not perfect. It made me happy. You're damn right it did. I'm showing it to everyone. Here is the model. Ah, she's glorious. And the print. Not perfect. That's pretty damn close. Oh my god. She's beautiful. I was expecting it to be. No, this is great. No disclaimer needed. Holy shit. Look at these little crispy details. Hell yeah. Oh, you mean like the line through the wings right here. Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean. Doesn't matter. It so doesn't matter. Especially once you prime paint this, if you want to. Is that a Ouija board? Is that your mouse pad? That's so edgy for no reason. I love that. So if it's a mouse pad, you're like summoning spirits as you use your mouse. It's like a planchette. Anyway, this is incredible. Good job getting this to print with all those little crispy details. Even her face looks just incredible. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. Wings printed perfect. Very crisp. I'm loading this up. Beep. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so proud of you. It's my friend's photo, not mine. Okay, well then your friend is summoning demons and spirits as they browse the internet. Oh my goodness. It is Shadowbox time. Yeah, Triforce. Yes, blame me. Oh my goodness. Yes, she is spoopy. Good friend. Everybody needs a spoopy lady friend, witchy friend, if I say so. I have a best friend lady and a best friend dude, and it was funny because I met my best friend lady friend after the guy. So I've already asked the guy to be my maid of honor at my wedding. And he was like, "Can I wear a dress?" And I was like, "No." Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna have two. I don't know. I always found the thing of like maid of honor and like bridesmaids inherently weird because it's like pick a favorite. I know what's supposed to be is like, oh, who's gonna do more like administrative tasks and like a bachelorette party or whatever, but I don't want that anyway. Anyway, what was the point of this? Oh yeah, have a witchy friend. Go find yourself a witchy friend. They're the best. All right. I don't care if this is really fragile because I can always bulk things up. This looks kind of like a animal skull. I really wish the resolution was higher. So let's do that. Geometry, shadow box. Oh, I can't do it after the fact. Boo. Oh well. I want so much from this. Okay, like what if this was like braided somehow? You know? No, that's gonna make this a nightmare. Simplify, Mia, simplify. We can add nonsense later. But what if I just add like a little braided segment? I can do it. I'm like, simplify, simplify, adds a bunch of shit. What can I say? Reaper says, I want a witchy friend. I feel like you're close to being that witchy friend. But yeah, get yourself a goth. Oh my goodness. This is getting really elaborate and not really filigree-y. I'll be damned if I'm not having a great time. All right, these things, these tendrils, don't make any sense. Ah! Doing an entire design mask feels so scary because you're like, I don't know, it feels like it's one instance or one click away from being destroyed on accident. Don't panic. Ooh, that's looking like a filigree thing. Interesting. It's kind of looking more like a crest now. So yeah, I guess how to draw filigree. Draw a bunch of tentacles and then see if you get something. Why is this looking so good? Okay, these little arms are giving like little funny arms or ovary vibes. Not quite what I'm going for. Reaper says, sadly, I am not witchy in real life. Follow your dreams. Be whatever you want. All right, we need these two like little arm things. There we go. Sean's repeated what I said, which is, or quoting me, how to draw filigree. Draw a bunch of tentacles and then see if you get something. Huh? What was... That was perfectly clear. I can't do better than that. My initial joke, or not joke, but instructions, was just like, it kind of looks like I was drawing like, I don't know, everything looks like a uterus and freaking ovaries if you make the diamond shape. All right, we're letting it go. But that was really specific, so I went with tentacles. All right, I think this actually turned out pretty neat. I am very sad it's not high resolution, but I did not make a good decision. Ah. All right, and now we're gonna extrude the thickness, giving myself a heart attack every time I accidentally undo that. So I'm just gonna draw a little skinny line here, and then it should spawn. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty low res because I did this to myself, literally. That's okay. We live and we learn. How do I keep this thing now? Turn off shadow box. Aha, it worked. You know what you could do from here? I guess you could then go over this with curve tube. Oh, interesting. Am I finding a new workflow? I think I am. I think I'm doing a thing. There's a brush that's already kind of like an edge. I think it's extrude. Like extrude profile isn't quite it because it comes off of the mesh, which I don't like. I think it's curve alpha. Yeah. I'm gonna turn off symmetry and just see if I get something cool, because I'm just kind of playing with stuff right now. It does need to make some sense. No, this is not it. This is not it. Thought I was doing something and now I'm like, yeah. No, I don't like it. What is this? I feel like this is what I was looking for. Kind of. Why are there so many dots? So many segments. How do I change that? Curve step. I'll change it to 1 and then let's see. Haha, it worked. And now, since this is a curve brush, I can do all kinds of adjustments. Let's go to curve modifiers. Let's flip the size or enable it and then taper. Let's see if we get a cool thing here. I just wouldn't know how I connect everything together. Probably the same way that I drew it. Yeah. I'm onto something here. So the way I would do this is like creating a shape and then building on that shape. So it's split mask points, mirror and weld, turn on symmetry, and then I can like adjust this. Oh, cool. I'm starting to see a finished product in my head. I don't know if what I'm doing is gonna get me there, but it might be really close. And if you really had a good vision right from the get-go, you probably could skip those steps I did in the beginning of using the shadow box and just go straight to this. Interesting. All right, what brush was this again? I immediately forgot because I was just clicking on stuff. I think it was Curve Multi-Tube. Yeah. Now let's select this. We'll hide this bottom piece. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, and then if you use this, you can get these really clean lines. You can then come back through with your Z brush, and you can extrude poly loops from it, and then really get like this sharp edge ornamentation. This is very similar to that hard surface workflow that I've been kind of toying with. I love when everything comes together. So intentional, can't you tell? We're also gonna scoot this on over because we got this weird little artifact in the middle. Scoot, mirror and weld. Fixed, like it was never there. Gonna do the same thing on the bottom. Just scoot it over, mirror and weld. Neato. And then once I have this little curve thing, I don't have to keep doing it over and over again. I'll just duplicate that shit. Because they all have like the same kind of radius because I drew it and I have a very specific curve that I do every time apparently. See? Wow, that fit perfectly. Amazing. It might be more fun to kind of, I can even make like a new pattern here. Interesting. All right, let's stick with what we got first. And then I can kind of play with other stuff. And I can duplicate this again and create a smaller one. So cool, this is how we're gonna get that like really delicate look. I'll be damned if this isn't working. Aloha says, it kind of looks like a cool foxfire thing. I totally see it, like a little snoot at the bottom. It also, if you just zoom in, it looks like a fox right here. Little face, nose, ears. Foxception. Oh, and then Sean's elaborated that it's not that you were unclear, it was just weird. That's accurate. Yeah. All right, I don't like how this one came out. It's a little wobbly. So we're gonna unwobble it by using creases. I'm gonna grab the Z modeler brush, Wow, the Z modeler brush, crease edge loop. And I'm gonna click on these top panels I don't want to move. And supposedly when I click pause for features, fucked it up. All right, I need to make sure I'm keeping these edges at the top. So here's a center line for the diamonds. Now try it. Better. I don't hate this taper right here actually. Was it intentional? No, but I kind of like it actually. It's allowed. I'm gonna duplicate this and see if I can create like 4 little diamond things on the inside. Here we go. Mirror and weld. Yeah, there we go. How cute. Aloha has their 8-month member celebration message. That's so long. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Aloha says, oh nice. I just hit 8 months. Well, let's go, Mia. Woo! New stream is awesome. I'm glad to see you energized and happy doing your thing. Thank you. I am too. Oh, and Taka left. Bye now, Taka. I love that you get those little messages. I think it's so fun. If I duplicate this, how do I diamond? Also for these, I think I actually want to mirror and weld on the top and the bottom. Where is, oh, that's the wrong axis. Let's do Z. No, it was Y. Yeah, fuck. I did it. Okay. Hello, I think it's crazy it's been 8 months though. Oh my goodness, what a long time. How cool. Streaming has been so much fun and I just get more comfortable the more that I do it. Even stream days that are hard, I look back on pretty fondly. And I really, really do think of it as a way to like kind of like reflect. And I'm like, okay, what would have made that stream more fun or better for me? It's easy to kind of get focused on like, what does your audience want, right? That's kind of like the perpetual struggle is like being a creator or an artist of any sort. But it just doesn't matter, because if you create something or that you don't like, the problem is that you're going to create an audience that likes what you're doing, perhaps. I mean, that's your worst case scenario, actually, and then you're doing something you don't even like. So I'm glad that I pivoted the streams. I've always liked the streams. It's very annoying when your own taste changes and then you have to figure that out. That was a pretty negative perspective. I guess it's not very annoying. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that if I could find a food that I like and if I could just eat that freaking food every single day, I would. But no. Oh no. My goodness. I joke with this with my husband all the time where it's like I have week stretches, like weeks long stretches at a time where I hate eggs. Hate them. Can't stand them. And then that's all I want to eat. I don't know. It's very annoying. It's like, oh, it adds variety to your life. I have enough variety. I could stand for my food, just be consistent. A nutrition brick, if you would. That being said, I'm making a pot roast tonight. I'm very excited. I would like to know, what is your guys' favorite food? I want ideas. I have never made anything like this before. Like, ever. This is a total, like doing this kind of ornamentation. Weird. This is freaking cool. Paint mentions sushi is my favorite food. Don't you live somewhere landlocked? I mean, same, so rip, but like. That's one of the few things I miss in California. Lots of good, cheap sushi. Reaper says, that's like me with peanut butter. 90% of the time, I hate to eat it, but then the 10% hits, and it hits different for a week, and then it's back to hatred. That's fantastic. That is so funny. The first time I Googled that, I'm like food sometimes, hate it others. And Google's like, congrats, you're pregnant. And I was like, don't even say that. I obviously was not pregnant, but it gave me an absolute heart attack. I was like, okay. Duke says, chicken fried steak, biscuits and gravy, and homemade canned peas and pears. Oh, that's delicious. Man, what a spread. You and my husband have very similar taste. And you also dress similarly based on what you described. Very funny. I wish that Taylor Brownie stopped by today because this guy has asked me how to make ornaments like a million times. I'm always like, I'll do it at some point. Well, it finally happened. He's not even here to see it. How dare. If he's watching this in the future, that's also very funny. Hi, Taylor. I know I'm getting a little overzealous with the same filigree shapes every time, everywhere, but it's working, so I'm not gonna stop doing it. That loop worked. Ooh. Ah. I love how I don't know if this is going to fit anywhere on the character. I was just like, oh, I guess we're learning filigree today. Or ornamentation, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that's not the word for what I'm doing. I just don't know what else to call it. Gem Paint says, why does the little gem things look like eyes? Like squid eyes, don't they? Duke says, I was raised a country boy. Comfort food is life. Absolutely. Duplicate this. Inside. It's, you know, this is just the same like 2 shapes over and over again. It's working. Very cool. I think this little weird bottom portion is just going to end up getting cut off. But it is funny. I do like the little funny eyes. They're just not really doing a whole lot for us here. I think that looks better. And I don't know if I want this blob right here either. Yeah, I don't. Well, this has been a lot of fun for my first time playing with this and figuring out how to do ornaments. It's actually came out really clean. I'm gonna just merge all this down and then throw a mirror and weld on it just in case it got a little wonky. Ooh, that looks almost better than what I went for. Well, shit. Happy accident. We're gonna keep both. How about that? We're gonna mirror and weld. We do have a little funny artifact going on right here, which I don't think it looks very intentional. Ooh, it's the whole thing. Ew. We're gonna just delete that and then replace it with this top section that has better geometry. Flip that around. And then scoot that back. Neat. Well, there we go. That looks pretty darn clean. I'm gonna call it Mia ornament. All right, back to the, what was the plot? We have this ornament. Now I'm gonna do stuff with it. I mostly wanted to do something with the sleeves and like wrapping it and stuff like up here. That was the whole point. So what I will do is I will rotate this 90 degrees. Nah. I'm gonna click on this little icon up here to center it, the gizmo within this icon ornament. Christ. I'm gonna click on the gear and then probably bend arc because I just want to be symmetrical and strong. So big old curve like that. Something that's gonna be, you know, arm shaped. And I'll suit it back to kind of keep the dimensions. I don't care if it looks stretched and stuff because the way that I created it was really clean. So it should still look quite nice. The most important thing right now is I don't fuck with the gizmo, like twisting and turning this. Because if I do that, now I can't like proportionally scale it. There. Keep it like that. If that doesn't just look gorgeous. I'm gonna mirror and weld. And then I want this to make more sense the way that it connects to the ornament. So we're gonna pull this up and then down right here. That makes more sense. Oh yeah. Well, cool. And then what's interesting with this is I should be able to grab individual pieces of this like filigree. Yeah, like this. And then I can actually modify it, hold down Command, and I can duplicate additional little sections here with symmetry, please. There we go, to like really custom fit it to the model. I'm gonna use my 3D gizmo and the move brush to move this right into place. I liked it, and then I liked it less. This other little grabber, not a huge fan of. But that one segment I do like. And then the big thing here is that we have this little wispy. Cool. We're doing things. It looks a little funny and a little fragile, but I'm kind of now just playing with getting a more like three-dimensional shape here. If I flick it out the other way. Yeah. That might require a new curve brush line to do. Okay. So I got rid of that because I'm just playing like, do I even want that shape? And now that I'm like, I think I do. So I can go back to that curve brush that I'm playing with, Curve Multitube, and I can create new filigree lines directly off of this ornament. See? All right, this brush is cool. It deserves a spot in my custom UI. Special day. It's not often I add new brushes onto my UI. There we go. Oh, freaking cool. That's what I wanted. All right, let's bring that ornament that I made, this, back in, because I really think I can get a lot of use out of this. And what's cool is I can really customize how it's gonna fit the body by using that curve brush that I used to build this ornament in the first place. Paint says, Mia, this is looking like something a transformed golden dragon would wear. Thank you. Oh, Empress is here. Oh, I'm so glad. How are we doing? We're doing great. Aloha said, I only just caught what you said before, Mia, but yes, I am glad you moved to a stream that suits you more. The peasants will show up even if you sat there and stared at a wall all stream. Thank you. Really? Aloha, I appreciate that. I saw that you shared just now in Discord. These are disgustingly beautiful. I will write home about those pipe folds right here all day. This shit at the top, meh, meh. But thank you. I agree with the pipes. The pipes. The fabric be folding. Thank you. Oh, it's a good day. It's a good day. Yes, more pipe fold. Delicious pipe folds. Agreed. You saw how I did those, right? If not, I can do a little tutorial on that. I mean, I guess it's all on this stream. You could just rewind. But, you know. I like to be accessible. All right, let's scoot this up here. Auto groups, and I can mirror and weld and then delete any filigree that is not complementing this shape. I don't want things carving into the boob. That is not nice. So we'll do that, and then we'll push these sections out of the way, and then scooch this up. Very good. Aloha said, did you not do the normal standard brush way, or was that the spicy method of mask, grab, and twist? Mask, grab, and twist, you are correct. Very spicy. Empress says, yay, another outfit to play with. That makes me so happy. So Empress is the first student I've had that has modified my outfits and then shared them, which is wonderful. That's what I want. Where the heck did you put it? So this is what I made yesterday. And then Empress modified it a touch. Look at all this crocheting goodness. Where the heck is it, Empress? I'm forgetting. I need less channels. Probably student artwork, because you be student. Yep. Yeah, sure enough. Check that out. I really like it without anything on the midriff. Like, I really like it. Beautiful. So freaking cool. Same, but different. And then Aloha repeated it. Mask it, grab it, twist it. Yeah, bop it. Oh, Christ. I'm actually naming stuff as I go through. Crazy. Empress said, the sleeves got a little wobbly. Yeah, they did. When you work on them, that's common. You can clean that up by doing zero mesh in half and then polish by features. You can find polish by features under tool, deformation, polish by features. You can even adjust what axis it acts on, I believe. Pretty sure. I never do that, but I just figured I'd share that with you in case that's helpful. All right, we are now going to do the hand thing. This will be a smaller ornament. I don't like that right here. It's obviously looking really stretched. Maybe I just think it looks like that because I know it looked like originally. Let me see. I can just kind of squish it back together and see if that will fit the arm still. It kind of does. I think I'm gonna do that. It looks exactly the same. Makes me happier. Okay, moving on. Hand ornament. So the first thing to do is make sure that this sleeve is, like, again, as close to the arm as possible. Okay, that's as good as we're gonna get. And then we'll adjust this ornament. I love using the move brush and holding down Option. I think that is Alt on Winders. There we go. And then I grab this sleeve to really run up to the very top of that ornament. The heck is my sleeve? There you are. Ew, I don't like how it looks on the side at all. It's all like wobbly. Let's make it taller, like it's intentional. Even taller. Okay, I'm happy with that. Whatever this is, I'm just gonna scoot it into the hand and we'll pretend like it wasn't there. There we go. So I pretty much lost like the backing of it and it looks very delicate and very beautiful. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna mirror and weld and then perhaps more of this delicious curved multi-tube brush. Make sure that it's on continuous Z so it follows the body, slash sleeve, slash whatever it touches. I really should adjust the sleeve before I do this. I don't want to. It feels too finicky, so I'm going to just draw on top of it. You can do that by the way. Permission. If you're working on something and you can kind of tell that something feels really finicky to you and you're like, I just want to be good enough. That is always allowed. Always let yourself do that. Unless it's client work, then take a break and come back. But with personal work especially, just let yourself relax, have fun. I haven't found a way to say this to my students yet, but I think it frequently, which is along the lines of, you've got to stop taking yourself so seriously. Make art, have fun. No one's gonna burst into your room and be like, that's not how you do that. Like, and if so, that's really weird. You have bigger problems if that happens to you. Let's put it that way. See, now that's looking a little more intentional and a little nicer, this fabric fold. I didn't do a good job moving it, so I'm gonna undo. If you ever are moving something, especially that's organic like fabric, and it's looking a little lumpy, don't just keep going. You're gonna lumpify the lump. Just undo what you did and think what's a better brush or a better approach to do that. The answer is rarely commit to the mistake. Just like undo it. You're working in a digital software. And think about it. Oh man, the students are gonna have fun with this one. Okay, more stuff. Reaper said, ha, you gave me permission, but my low self-esteem ass will always think it's not good enough. Yeah, that's above my pay grade, but I wish you the best. There we go, Aloha. You're gonna get bonked with the self-esteem stick. I like that. Bonk. Oh, you guys are funny. Aw, thank you. That's all Loa said. How'd you get the swoosh so swooshy? It's so nice. It legit looks simulated. Thank you. It's just the twisty trick. Here, I'll do another one. You do... Okay, step one. You draw a mask with lasso, and then you be really picky. You make sure it is very triangle. Oh, make sure you don't have it with symmetry, because it always does a bad job. Just pick one sleeve to work on. All right, like that. And then go to the other side, because it's inevitably still there and you don't want that. So look towards the middle of the sleeve and then cut through it so it's not ripping through. Now, invert. Bring up your transpose line. Invert again. And then spin. Whee. You might need to play with the exact location. And I like to spin it like a lot to the point where it's like super broken and busted looking. And then click and drag and fix it. Like that. Ta-da! And then mirror and weld. Nope, wrong way. Watch out. And that's how you do that. And it does look a little screwed up right here because it was on the edge. You have a couple ways you can address that. I think subtracting material when doing fabric folds is really overlooked. I feel like my students always want to add more material, which is like close. But no, you also need to remove. So I'm holding down Option here, and I am, where's my tablet? There we go. Removing this material, and then a lot of smooth. Which is kind of hard to do on this right now because it's really high poly. That's fine. But there you go. More swoosh. Ember says, mini transpose tutorial? I don't know if there's one in the classroom. There is, but it's old and terrible. Okay, don't bank on it, but possibly, maybe, Ricky and I are going to redo every M3DM Academy video and make an entire brand new hub on the website, perhaps. Maybe. Anyway, transpose line is witchcraft and it's great. All you need to know is you click W. Nope. Oh my God. Look at all my keys. Christ. You click Q is for sculpt mode, W is for the move mode, and Y will toggle between the gizmo and transpose line. Transpose line. You click and drag. Every time you click and drag, it creates this line. Yes, you can use it in symmetry. You can use it without symmetry too. On the transpose line, you have 3 circles. Just worry about the end one for right now. The end one will allow you to stretch material. But the thing about the transpose line is if you click on just the ring on the outside, the yellow, orange, it doesn't do anything. It just makes it a longer line, which at that point, just draw your line again. What you really want to do is grab the inside ring right here, this red. So you go along the line of action, and this first one is stretch. How nice is that? And then the middle one here will move the whole thing. Here's the big thing about the transpose line you need to understand. It is sensitive to the mode that you're in. What the fuck do you mean? Hold spacebar. You have rotate, move, these modes. And it never really comes up because it doesn't get used super often. Because with the gizmo, you can rotate, you can stretch, all in one. But the transpose line, what each circle does depends on what mode you're in. So by default, it's just an, I don't know, edit mode, transpose, whatever, it moves. But if you click the letter R, now you're in rotate mode, which will change the function. So now look, it rotates when I click on that and hold that, farthest red circle. Similarly, if I click R and I click on this inside one here, it will rotate along that axis, and that's how I do those pipe folds. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Transpose line's confusing, but it's doable. You just gotta practice it. I will make a better tutorial on that. Anyway, pretty good fabric folds. Pretty happy with this. We are going to continue. I'm just gonna go nuts with this curve tube and see if I can just copy this. Let me zoom in. Let me channel the art. We're gonna hide this ornament even and see if I can just make that. First thing I'm gonna notice is this looks like AI, so it's kind of wobbly, that's fine. But I can see the general flow and that's cool. And that's all I want it for. That's not the brush I want. There, cool. All right, I'm thinking. I'm gonna start from the bottom. The first thing I'm gonna do is draw a couple lines to kind of keep me in the right location. Everything's gonna be somewhere off of this main line. And now I'm gonna draw off of that line to create these shapes. They're all so small. Interesting. And they come back across the line. I wonder if it'd be better to do one side and then mirror and weld. Probably. Every time you use a curve brush, it's gonna be live. In order to kill it and freeze it, just tap on your mesh. When you have the dotted line here, you're in trouble. Click on your mesh somewhere and it'll go away. How to get the brush to stick to the surface? You go to Picker at the top here, and then instead of once Z, you click on continuous Z. Very good question. I'm really glad you asked that, Paint, because I explain that almost every single stream. I'm gonna change my picker mode or whatever. And I'm like, do I say that too many times? And then you asking that question, I'm like, perfect. I do not say it too many times. I can say it even more. When you get to the bust area, it must look good. Really take your time. Also, when there's so many little segments, oh, it drives me crazy. It gets so lumpy and stuff. So go to Stroke, Curve Functions, Curve, where the fuck? Curve Step. And I think if you increase this, it makes there's less segments, I think. I'm still figuring that out. Increasing the size of the brush does help too. All right, creating this shape, and it goes all the way around. which is really cool. Like that. Yeah. And again, I am only working on one side because I'm going to mirror and weld, and I think it's going to look good. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I think these are too skinny. Try again. There we go. I'm gonna use this dress for a model one day and it's gonna be incredible. I don't know when, but it's gonna be great. All right, let's do the mirror and weld and hopefully it looks good. Yay, it looks really good. Neat. That's what I was hoping for. It's kind of noisy, the bottom of this design, but it looks really good. So I'm gonna let my design be a little noisy too. Hello, Just Lingual, welcome in. Just Lingual says, just used the Triton model in a campaign yesterday. Oh, how nice, that makes me happy. All right, this is looking awesome. Thank you, thank you. Allow says, wait, is this just the curved tube brush? Yeah, I think, yeah, no, this is a curved multi-tube. It's the same fucking brush. Yes, you were correct. Or I think it's the same brush. I'm about to be very concerned if this is not actually sealed. No, it is. Ooh, look at that. Isn't this cool? Would love to make a pinup model where this is all she's wearing. Anyway, moving on. I'm having so much fun today. I know you guys can't tell, but we're gonna add some thickness to this. And I can click close holes, but it's gonna make the bust area all, ugh. See how it's kind of like grabbing through? It's ruining any possible cleavage moment. Instead, use dynamic. So I use dynamic subdiv and I just offset. You can use panel loops, extrude loops, really whatever you want. You could probably even use a Z-modeler brush for this. Bam. Click apply. And then next, I'm going to put a small border on the edge of it. No, I'm not going to. I decided against it. I am going to grab a super secret brush from Lightbox, comma, brush, slash. And then you want to grab slash do. The other ones, no. The only thing about slash brush is you really need super high like density on your mesh. Otherwise it doesn't like to work. I'm at 688,000 points right now. And then I'm going to kind of mimic the boning that you would have in a corset. What is that? Pretty much like you sew a little tube and then you stick this really tough material, like you could sew over itself or just like literally called like bone. It's literally called boning, like a stick. You sew a stick. Yeah, there you go. And it reinforces the garment. But the way you have this curved is really important because boobs are not flat. So you put a straight line on it. It's fine. It's fine. But why would you not accentuate the shape? And you really can go either way. The big thing though is just flatter the body. Don't put straight lines on bodies because the body is not straight. So I'm finding this like gentle curve to follow her hip here. Can do like a construction line right here. I'm really kind of going straight and then away. Doing it until I find the line I'm looking for. Yes. Beautiful. Yes, remember, no corset is boneless. It's true. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We've had over 10 people, like a dozen. That's more satisfying. A baker's dozen, actually, the whole time. That's just the coolest thing to me. A lot of regulars here. Ask questions. Even if you're not a regular, if you're feeling shy, don't be shy. Ask questions. We're all super nice here. All right, it is almost skirt fabric fold time. Which I'm surprised I haven't done that yet. That's like the one I knew how to do. Aloha, I'm so glad you're so hyped about these fabric folds on the sleeve, because honestly, I'm pretty impressed with those two. They came out really nice. Did this start in Marvelous? It didn't! I actually just did this in ZBrush today, but some of these things would have been a lot easier in Marvelous. The corset, not so much, but today, I don't know, I was just feeling ZBrush today. Yes, that looks good. All right, it is swooshy skirt time. Readjust my chair. It's serious. All right, we're gonna focus on just the front of the skirt here. We're going to hide everything else, subdivide a bunch of times. Let's add thickness now, just in case I want to 3D print this one day. Doesn't drive me insane. There we go, just a little bit. Neat. Okay, apply. Oh, this is what happens when you extrude in the wrong direction. I didn't have my offset to -100, so it ruined my silhouette. Always, if you're going to use dynamic subdiv to add thickness, have offset to -100. Or positive 100 based on factors. Usually it's -100. All right, for this technique, we are simply going to use the standard brush. I'm gonna have really high intensity, and you want to focus on where all the fabric is being, ruched together. Ruched is just a fancy way for saying gathered. I want to start with the large fabric folds first. You're gonna see me do the same stroke over and over again. I'm not so much looking for, is it the perfect curve? I really just want to see how the brush is interacting and see if I get enough lift, essentially. I'm pretty happy with that. Yes. And then there's another main curve, because again, I am focused on the largest fabric fold first. And I'll continue them around the body. It gets a little lumpy where I'm connecting those lines. I'm just not worried about that. So one big line, two big lines, kind of like three primaries. Do your best to not make things equidistant. Allow things to fall organically. We're terrible at this. As humans, we put patterns on everything. Resist. All right, see, it's all going to be coming together. I like it. I think someone new is here, rooting for Alex. Hello, Alex. I found you not long ago. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm new to ZBrush and it's been so helpful. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, that made my day. That makes my whole day. I like my regular peasants as well, but it's always exciting when even more people are learning stuff from these tutorials. Or, not, it's not a tutorial, it's a stream. But it's kind of a tutorial. If you have questions, please ask. Just Single says, I've been tempted to show my busy sister some of the marvelous streams. She's in fashion school and has seen 3D fashion software, but I don't think she's ever considered it for 3D and D&D. Oh, very cool. I bet you she's familiar with Clo 3D, which is the sister software to Marvelous, which is ready for like proper manufactured garment construction. Which pretty much the big thing in Marvelous that you guys don't seem to have to worry about, that you do have to when actually sewing clothes, is stuff like seam allowances, which is a whole other thing and why I can't make patterns in real life. Very difficult. There's a lot to consider. All right, let's go ahead. And again, I'm doing all these fabric folds just with the standard brush. And now my favorite. So instead of just adding little skinny fabric folds here, take away material. That's the big thing that I see people forget most often. Add dimension. Don't just add. You must also take away. I'm sure there's something philosophical there if you think about it. And if you want to be like really good at this, you could probably mask to get a better selection. I should do the advice that I'm giving. I'm gonna do mask lasso. Yes. I wonder if I can use my pipe fold trick. Stop that. My pipe fold trick right here. ZBrush, why are you being angry? Transpose line. Thank you. I mean, it's interesting. It's not really what I want here, but by pulling sections out, it's cool. It's fine. All right, I was just trying something out there. Always be experimenting. Always, always, always. Especially if you're new, I would encourage you, try to be wrong. Think of like when you're sculpting something, what is the brush you would most think would not fit for the application that you were trying to do? And then just try it. See what happens. So many of my students sculpt like they're on a deadline. Like they have a boss that's gonna come in and be like, I need this in by 5 p.m. Friday. It's like, you got nothing but time and fun to experiment. Let yourself be wrong. Because you might just find a really cool technique. When I was learning how to sculpt for D&D and scale, like getting scaling right and proportions and stuff, I had so many presumably cranky old dudes, maybe I'm wrong, telling me why certain things I was doing was not going to work. And then sure enough, nothing shuts people up quite like success. But that didn't make me feel any better. I was just like, why would you tell someone not to do something if you haven't done it yet? Crazy people. Crazy people do that. Don't take any advice from people that aren't making art. Truly, your friends, some dude on Reddit, they might really mean well, but their advice sucks. It's so bad. Listen to creatives, listen to people that are actually doing stuff like on a stream and want to help you and answer your questions. Please don't listen to strangers on the internet that are just saying no for the sake of saying no. Whew, these fabric folds are looking good. I know they got a little off topic there, but I really had to add that because part of being an artist kind of is social media now. And so I would just hate that if any of you guys stop doing a certain kind of art, a certain kind of technique because someone told you online that it wasn't proper. Ugh, God, please, anything. Don't do that. Don't do that. Seder is here. Hello, hello. Oh, we have all 3 mods today. I feel like I need to ring a bell or something. Oh, goodness. Yeah, we do have a great community here. To brag, intentionally, I just adore the TAVERB and the peasants, and they're just wonderful. Yes. Just Lingual says, Mia, kind of random, but I suggested your videos to the surgeon I work with too. Because my miniatures have been getting better, he said he might switch to doing commissions work for organs later. What? That's epic. Okay. And then Alex said, just join. Oh, did you get into the Discord? Very good, very good. Thank you all so much. It's so rewarding doing simple things at the moment, but watching helps me pick up so much. Good. And the secret is all these like complex, beautiful projects you see on ArtStation, it's just a bunch of simple things put together. You just keep layering them on top of each other, and then eventually, there you go. Suddenly you have a complicated thing. But it has to start simple. Just Lingual says, because I'm phasing out of working in biomedical engineering, but he still wants excuses to hire me. So he's looking on the art side. Well, there you go. Very cool. That always makes me smile because when I first went to school, I wanted to go into biomedical engineering, but they didn't have that Fresno State. So I did mechanical. But it's cool to see whenever it pops up. I was like, oh, I was almost going to design prosthetics. And now I make minis. Thank you, Aloha. You are the best little onboarder. You're fantastic. Let me give Alex a wave. Hello, hello. And I can start connecting what your name is there. Because why? No one has the same name on multiple platforms. You guys drive me crazy. And sure enough, at least there's an A in it. I'll remember. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's kind of my thing. All right, more fabric folds. We're gonna make them especially small and at the top here to really sell that ruching effect. Gosh, doesn't that look so fast and easy? It can be. Something that if you're struggling in ZBrush, because don't we all, camera angle is suspiciously a huge part of it. If I try to do these fabric folds from this angle, of course I can't. So just keep that in mind. Like really take your time to orient your camera. What is that quote from, what was it, Abraham Lincoln? It's like if I had 7 hours, chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening the axe. That is so important. I have a student that's, I don't remember where he is. He's in Europe somewhere. Anyway, I remember explaining like, you know, like that one like President Abraham, you know, the axe. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, sharpen your axe. And if you're still like, wow, I didn't follow that. What I'm trying to say is prepare. Spend time creating with intention and really thinking about the tools that you're using. Not to be paralyzed by it. Gosh, I also have students that do that too, where they're like, is this the right tool? I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter that much. Just know what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll end up like me in the kitchen, where I can bake something that's just incredible. It's like the best banana bread I've ever made. But I made it without a recipe, so I can't quite make it again. You don't want to end up like that in 3D and in art. If you don't keep track of what the heck you're doing, it's very hard to replicate it. Please tell me why these fabric folds are like the best fabric folds I've ever made. There's something about doing more practice in Marvelous and like seeing stuff when it's simulated. I swear it is like scratching my art brain, and it has made me a bit better at sculpting fabric folds. I know I've already said this, but you have to learn how to sculpt. Don't just get Marvelous and be like, oh, this software shall simulate my folds for me. I never have to learn how to do this. Yes, you do. You need to do both. Use it as a tool, not to replace your own workflow. Because every now and then, actually quite frequently, I don't want fabric folds that are realistic. Sometimes I just want an excessive amount of them because I think that they're pretty. And that's where the artistry comes in. And if you can't sculpt fabric folds, well, you're SOL, aren't you? It is bothering me that the body keeps clipping through it, but I need to remind myself not to obsess on that. Instead, focus on the fit of the garment. Can always just smooth the body slightly. There we go. Good enough. Sater said, nerd, made it without a recipe. Ah, so that is how it ended up with chocolate chips. Chocolate chips are fantastic in banana bread. You were off your rocker. I was gonna make an old man joke, but nothing came to mind. But just like, I want you to know that I tried. I thought about it. I reached for it in my head, and then I couldn't come up with anything. Oh, goodness. All right, we just hit the 2-hour mark in the stream. Weird. So that's pretty much a wrap. I would say that we pretty successfully made this thing. We don't have the little drapey fabric fold on this side, though. It kind of looks like the sleeve that I have here. So let me chop it up and see if I can pin it on there and it'll look intentional. Chop. Stretch. And we're just gonna pin it on the side here, and it's gonna look intentional and beautiful. What'd I say? That's why I try to work as slow and thoughtful as possible, because if you do a good job making a piece, you can chop it up and put it everywhere. Does that not just look so intentional and gorgeous? I love it. Can't believe this is my job. What a joy. Thank you guys for being here. You watching is partly why I can do this every day. All right, stream is almost done. I'm going to be sharing these files, the ZBrush file, exactly what you see, with my students in Discord right now. If you want access to these files to do whatever you want with them, do so. If you, don't just sell the files, but if you use it for a character and it ends up looking like it's just a piece of it and ends up looking different, I don't care. Sell it. No, you do not need to credit me. I probably won't even notice. Just don't not change it. Use it. Use it as a tool. Don't just stick it on your character and be like, it's done. Be an artist, that thing. None of these pieces are optimized or really ready for anything. But they are cool. And what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to get better at figuring out what's gonna be most helpful for my students. So I kept this low mesh version of the sleeves. I literally built this sleeve from this blob. So I'm gonna try to start keeping both copies. I'll call it high res sleeve and the low res sleeve. And maybe they'll be even more fun for you guys to use. I am open to that too. So my students that have been playing with these files, if you're like, hey, it'd be really nice if you did this, let me know. I even made this ornament on stream today. Mess around with that. Reminder, it's polygrouped, so you can really edit this. You can hide stuff, move it around. My favorite thing to do is to grab sections of it, duplicate it, and you can just make a brand new freaking ornament. There we go. See what I mean? Add more pieces and stuff. It's really cool. All right, that is hand horn. Empress says, I'm gonna credit you anyway, you can't stop me. Fine. Oh, you crack me up. Okay, I'm gonna do something kind of unbearable, if you can bear with me. Those that are watching, a lot of you guys are artists. If you could all put one thing that you learned today from my stream in the chat, I would really appreciate that. And it's so cheesy, and it's so Dora the Explorer moment. What did you learn today? But no, seriously. I think I'm gonna start doing this at the end of all of my streams, so it's kind of like a little Cliff Notes moment at the end. Just one thing you learned. And it can even be it reminded me to have fun with art. I don't care how philosophical you get, but I'm gonna practice this. We're gonna call this hip drapery. And we'll call this skirt. Very nice. I think I have named everything finally. Yes. All right, very good. Sater said, I can't bear with you. You said it's something unbearable. Today I learned that you aren't very good at quoting US presidents. Was it not Abraham Lincoln? Oh, it's probably George Washington. Oh, it was the cherry tree thing, wasn't it? Wait, no, it wasn't. That wasn't even real. That was a myth. God damn it, Zader. Okay. Fate says, they learned transpose line is dependent on modes. Yes. Justlingual learned a reminder to not make all patterns equidistant. Yes, that's a great one too. Try to vary up the distance between your fabric folds. Yay, this is good. Yes. Sater roasted himself since I did a bad job. Old man joke. What is your problem with chocolate chips? You prefer Necco wafers or something? I still don't. Yeah, you out-olded me. But good job. I enjoy the self-roast. Oh my goodness. Empress says to other students, fellow students, please play with these outfits. I had a blast trying to fit the last one to the vase that I made. Oh, wonderful. Makes me very happy. Man, this is a good one today too. She is gorgeous. Let's get a fun render on here. It makes me sad that these streams are a little shorter than my old ones used to be, like up to 5 hours, but man, are they dense in content, and then you guys get something out of it. Oh, look at that. Yeah. We'll do, I'm getting ready to do a screenshot, so be prepared to smile. All right, here's the front. I'm gonna duplicate this, spin it around. It's a little weird in the back, and this cracks me up because there's no shoes. Also, this back line, not my favorite. We're gonna just scoot that down and pretend like that's what it looks like. Now we're gonna render. Okay. My goal today was to make this gilded bodice, a ruched skirt, ornaments, and sleeves. I would say that's very successful. Let's take a screenshot. All right. Smile. Perfect. I'm also going to try a different render style really quick here because there's two that I really like. Click comma for lightbox render set, and I also really like the radial overlay. There it is. Just Lingual says, Mia, I wasn't here to hear the US president misquote, but even the misquote was misquoted, so I can believe it. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Great. Very good. All right. Oh, I like that render too. Maybe I'll do this one instead. Yeah, it's a little shinier. Smile again. Excellent. And then really quick, I kind of want to play with the material because it's supposed to be gold. It doesn't look very gold when it's rendered. Okay. Duke says, I feel like a crown or a helmet would go really good with this one. I agree. I think that would be fantastic. Maybe I'll do a special, like as I get more comfortable with these streams, I'll do 2 hours where I make the thing, the reference, and then the last hour will be like a collaborative art thing. I think that could be a lot of fun. Ew, weird. Not loving these matte caps. I just want it to impossibly and ethereally like glow. These are just doing a standard material. Not fooling me. Looks the same every time. That's also nice. All right, good enough. Going to look at the thing that I made. I think that was it. It's going to be like streamception here for a second. I always just click auto levels and I feel like I'll bump that a little bit, a little more saturated, and a little sharper. There we go. I think that's going to look much nicer. Edit your photos if you are an artist and post stuff online. It takes 2 seconds. You're probably like me, you don't want to. It's worth it. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna save this Z tool and upload it right now. Do I have any students that are confused about where to find these? Because if I have even a single student that's not sure where to find these outfits, that means that half of you guys don't know where they're at. All right, we're Gilded Fairy, October 8th. I always put the date so that we can go to my YouTube channel and watch the stream that accompanies it. Duke says, I do really miss the complete character streams. Technically, this is the same thing minus shoes. Not to be contrarian, but... All right, where... Getting this uploaded for y'all. M3DM Student Library, so we have 4 things in here. They're of varying quality and detail level, but they all have streams. Really? I can't move this. Get out of here. Words. There we go. They all have streams that accompany them, which is where all the value is at, truly. I make sure to do everything live on stream with each of these sets, so you're not going to have anything that's, ooh, are these not going to be in order? No, because they're alphabetical. What was I expecting? Can you sort by date modified? Okay, yeah. As long as you guys can sort by date, otherwise that would drive me crazy. Cool. Beautiful. That is now available for you guys to download and play with. And then as a bonus, at the end of the stream, I'm going to roast the shit out of one of my students who made a project with way too many polys. And I'm gonna tell you guys why you shouldn't do this. This is made by Paint. It is excellent. This file is 2 gigs. I'm afraid to see how many polys there are. For context, this entire piece you guys see in front of me is like 2 million points. Wow, it still hasn't finished loading Paint. I'm trying to load in your dumb ZPR. It's gorgeous. It is 10 million points. You have the grid on, which is weird. I'm gonna do Shift P to get rid of that. Why is it so, why do you have so many of these? Okay, we're gonna, don't do this. Is each one of these a pose? Why the heck do you have so many of the same thing? Are you aware that you have all these tools, Paint? Oh my God. You can delete like every single one of these. To delete a tool, because maybe you're not sure how, you come down here to delete all, and that will get rid of this tool. Where the heck was the first one? Here we go. Honestly, the wings are, oh my God, what is this? When you make wings, it's very important that they are not one piece because you have 2 wings. So to fix that, we're gonna mask this section in the center, Command W to polygroup, Command Shift double click on that so it's hidden, and then delete hidden. There we go, I've made this 100 times less awful. It's a really good looking model. I'm just mostly making fun of Paint because he wanted that and because he knows that this was a mess. The character looks great. The construction, no, I have to sneeze. Okay. Paint said, I didn't know I have those tools. You hurt my heart. You know what tools are. I taught you. These are tools, these are subtools. Every tool contains subtools. Most of your tools are one subtool, which defeats the whole purpose. Dear God. It's the same thing over and over again. Jesus Christ. Are any of these individual feathers? Yes, this one is, which is also insane. Whew. Start with a slightly thicker feather next time. You don't need it to be quite as detailed. And there's 2 wings. Okay. Your model's awesome. You knew this was constructed like chaos, but you know what? It's better to construct like chaos than not at all. Because you gave it to me and it's in front of me, I'm gonna put a fun render on it that you probably haven't seen your model in that light before. So maybe that would be fun. And then people can think I'm not just a bully. It's okay, you know the truth. If you too would like to be bullied and taught by me one-on-one, it's $30 a month. It's $1 a day. Most of my students are brand new beginners. I'd love to teach you. It's a killer deal, and I know that. But I really like my students, and they all help teach each other, and it's worth it for me. All right, fun render. Ta-da! Exactly. Oh my gosh. Create stuff, absolutely. Paint, you are probably the best advertisement I could have right now because it's in front of me of like what you guys can learn with me teaching you. This is incredible. You couldn't make anything like this 6 months ago even. Fantastic. Empress, I love being bullied. It's another student of mine. Who has also come like leaps and bounds. You guys are awesome. Like I'm a good teacher, but you guys do make me look especially good. So thank you. Paint says, oh my God, I love the render. Great. All I did was go down to comma for lightbox render set, and I double clicked on radial overlay. Ah, the heck. Double click on that. For the light setup, I just have 2 lights. There's a lantern, whatever. I have 2 lights. One light is kind of off to the side, and the other one is a warm bounce light that apparently is not a color right now. Let's make it warm. There we go. Make sure you have ambient occlusion enabled. Let's bump that up even more. Bam. Paint said, this is only 4 months of your class-ish. Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. If there was a horn, I would toot it. Good job, me. I mean, good job, Paint, that I taught you. I'm super proud. There you go. Fun render for Paint. Lighting is everything. You really did a good job with this. I am so fucking proud of you. Keep making art. Keep doing stuff. Alrighty. I think that's... Oh, shut up. Christ. Alright, you guys are fantastic. I no stream tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday to make more armor, because glutton for punishment, and I am getting better by doing it every single week. Alright, y'all. Take care, and I will see you Friday. I don't know what's Spanish for Friday, so I didn't say it. Okay. Bye.